No, I haven't. I've no tissue to hand either, or baby wipes are really not good. This is the side of EDS we don't want you to see. Hang on. I've been like this for my whole life. I might turn it around so you actually can't see properly, obviously, what's going on. I'm alright, I'm not ill. I have Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, but this is the bits that we don't want you to see. So, but this is awareness YouTube, isn't it? So I really need some tissue for my nose. I can't turn my head at the moment, 2 secs. I've basically got to try to get from here all the way through to here, completely aligned, and my body is trying to make me gag, hang on, in order to try to push through what's called vocal cord dysfunction. If I could blow my nose right now, it'd be a lot easier. And actually, I can be completely disgusting where I have to pretty much use everything that I have around me. And when I first started really being bad with this, just 2 seconds, because I'm actually going to have to use my hand. Oh, I think I've got it. Oh, anyone with Ehlers Danlos Syndrome, right, who knows, hang on, I haven't got it. I'm like this with my breathing as well. I can actually stop breathing. If you can see here, it's not straight. It'll probably show you by the crease on my neck how much it is not straight in my vocal cords at the moment. So my vocal cords are what you call closed right now. It's very difficult to talk when this happens. Right now I can try getting around it, hang on. Now, if I knew what my chiropractor knew, I could probably snap my own neck. Another sign of EDS right now, obviously, is my hand. Anybody who's just coming in and jumping out, my name is Kellie, and I've had 2 children taken by the state claiming that Ehlers Danlos Syndrome is the easiest condition for any person to claim to have. And after a 26-week court process, which went on from a period, hang on, I'm currently throwing up and giving you an idea of actually what's not faking it. Elijah, please leave me at this moment.
But Mum, what's this?
Okay, I'll change it over. Oh no, that's fine, it's brand new. It's brand new. Can you go back to bed, please, sweetheart, while I deal with this?
I'm just going for a toilet.
All right, switch over. Let me just flush the toilet a second. I need to wash my hands and grab some toothpaste a sec. So basically, on the 13th of December 2012, 2 of my children were taken by the state in Flintshire from Myla. I can't even put my head down there at the moment. From Myla Hospital in Wrexham. I can't even twist my head. Hang on a minute, I need to get something. I just go and rinse in the bathroom, in the kitchen. Sorry to be really, really, really crude with this live tonight, but obviously you see any person who's on DLA or PIP or anything like that, right? They're basically meant to write from their worst day. Two seconds. When I was about 24, I used to really hate it because I'd be on the way to university or going to a ball or something like that. I can remember really clearly living at 12 Birchwood in Leyland, and I had a beautiful, beautiful dress on. I mean, I really did look absolutely wonderful. I had the right size. I was really cool. I had a beautiful ball gown on, and literally I went to step out the door. And as I went to step down, and it was only a slight little thing, but you know when you go out your door and step down, it's like going on the stairs. It took my body from obviously walking straight to tilting me, And as it did that, I completely followed through with mucus, and I could feel it going down the back of my leg. And this was something really, really normal from the age of sort of probably about 13. And I have had, please remember, I have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance. And I have to deal with the persecution and opinions of people who go, oh, you're just hypermobile then, so you're really bendy. And it's like, really? You try living with... Hang on, I've got my jacket on, actually. There we go, 2 seconds. I've got one of my hoodies on. If I take this off, my head will fall off my head, my shoulders, basically. So basically, I have EDS, it has me, and sometimes we dance. And basically, if you look at this little skeleton, this here is my bones. So this here is everything from my feet. So the main joints, ankles. So this is my knees. So this is basically a subluxation. A dislocation would be completely out. A break obviously would have a snap, which people do. But I live with sublocks and dislocations, and the ligaments and the muscles all work completely different. So hips, pelvis, all your spine, your ribs, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. And this is my main issue between here and here, basically. So my chiropractor, so for any of you who don't know, I've had a fear of chiropractors for years. I've had a fear of surgery. I've had a fear of doctors. Because from the age of 13 through to 21, probably, I have had... If I said uppers and downers, you'd all think I was talking about drugs, but I'm not. An upper is basically a tube that goes into your rectum, up and into your stomach. And a downer is basically goes in, down your glottis and into your stomach, right? and I've had these at different chapters of my life all the way through. 2 seconds, my stomach's starting to wrench and try again. Shiloh did this today as well, threw up in McDonald's before we got the food, just because of the smell in McDonald's. 2 secs. Luckily for me, it was pineapple and cucumber, so people knew that my children actually do eat nice things. 2 secs, I'm actually struggling with that. So, if you then imagine, so this is a skeleton argument, so back to forced adoption, and as you know, I've literally just suspended all of the payments in my account at the moment on GoDaddy, because I'll have to make a really concrete decision. If I do this, I have to commit to this fully. I have to make a decision on whether to keep Amber on or not. Amber has a survivor mentality, not a victim, but a survivor. There's one more crossover. You go from victim to survivor to thrive. And that's when the true healing comes with any form of sexual, physical, emotional abuse, or any form of trauma. Anything can be traumatic, from dealing with pain every day to going through a relationship breakdown or a change in life, a move, a death. Anything can cause trauma. Even just being out, being scared of something, even our own mind can cause trauma. And trauma has a memory and a membrane, and it exists within our body. I don't know if this is a generational thing that I'm dealing with, but there is a deficiency within my collagen. What you see within the bones is not I actually have really strong bones. What I don't have is the strong in the collagen. Now, if I have a pen here, and I can probably do it on the back of here, I'll do it for you really quickly. I'll tell you what, I guarantee you I can remember this. Right, let me just take an envelope a minute. And I'll draw it for you. Right, so basically, just a quick lesson, very quick. This isn't basically your nucleus, right? Do you know how long I had to quickly practice this and practice this and practice this and practice this and practice this over and 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 over. I've gone one too many, so let me turn it around this way. Right, so this here is everything that you are. This is everything. This is everything, in everything, around everything. It's what you're made of. It's what everything is made of. It's what space, galaxies, and everything is. This is a nuclei. This is a cell. energy. This is what everything is. So I continue circling. This is the internal porthole of any form of black hole existence, and we spin in a multi-gravitor. I won't get too deep into this. I'm actually trying to do something else. So then, with energy, you can do this in any form of creativity. It goes into chromosomes. We are 23 chromosomes. That's how default and genetics occurs, right? So basically, this thing here, and it goes, all this is all the cell thing. These here are basically, everything is energy. From here, I'd actually create an opening. I've actually done it wrong. So within this opening, each one, so all of these here are all dendrites. These cross through into these. So this is then where my problem is. So this long thing here, and then it would go out like this, and then you'd have a crossing here, and this is what's called the myelin sheath, right? No, this is called the myelin sheath. No, these are called the myelin sheaths. So forget these, add these on. This is the difference and breakdown with every form of disease that happens, whether it be that this signal crushes. This exists in everything that you are. So if you imagine this like a vein, yeah, and you imagine this being blood trying to move down here, and then what it goes out of the dendrites, and then this is the myelin sheath. And then it goes out, and the whole process starts again. So everything is this, all right? Everything is this. This is made out of that. 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 If I was to keep rubbing my fingers really, 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 really fast, right, you're getting start of a vibration around it, right? Everything vibrates. Everything vibrates. You know, if you ever sit and watch oil and you watch the sun and it comes up and it vibrates like this, everything does. If you start to watch it, everything. My hand would heat up. Sit there and do it yourself. Just sit there really quickly. One, it hurts my hand, so I won't do it for too long. But if I completely rub my fingers together like this, hang on, I'll try and do it for you. My light's probably really fucking dirty, but excuse me, because I've got cleaners coming in to shift out. Right, if I shine that up to a light, keeps my fingers clicking. There you go. Right. I'll do it for you. Right, watch. I can't keep my hands too thin, but you see where it slightly pulls in? It's trying to connect. That tissue is trying to connect to the tissue in my hand, right? It's trying to force it together. It knows, so I can push it together. If I try and pull it apart, watch. You'll see. If I do it, let me press my hand on my phone. I'll try and do it for you. Watch. Now, if you watch in between as I do pull it, if it works, there you go. Now, if I do this fast enough, you should. There you go. Here it is. Watch the light. It's best to do it to the sun. But just hold your fingers up to the sun and watch all that light in between. It should go blue and purple. Right? Just from the thing. Same as if you put a fire together, right? Where's, okay. So basically, come back to this. This nucleus pneumona, there's a lot of other significant names that comes in, just like a hand. So a hand is a hand until it becomes everything to do with the metacarpals, the veins. Watch my veins. Hang on a minute. They're ligaments, right? So these ligaments here shouldn't do this, by the way. I don't know if it's steroid damage from me having so much medication from the ages of 15 to 21. Okay, the aging of my hands. And then if I could hold my phone right now, I could literally, let me see if I can try and do it. Balance phone. Right. I can't see you, but I could probably pull my hand, yeah, to my daughter. Which way are you? Down on here. So basically, this is what's called an action potential. So everything is an action potential. A thought is an action potential. A process is an action potential. Decision is an action potential. Movement is an action potential. Everything that we do creates an action potential, be it positive or negative, right? So as this goes down, this signal gets damaged. And over time, these dendrites, emotions and traumas start crossing them out. And then eventually, depending on your sugars, the foods that you process, covered in shit through here, whether your lungs are having to go through smoking, whether your body's having to work really hard, whether it's misfiring left, right and centre, eventually this can't miss the fire. Eventually this can't process. Eventually this builds up and can't get out of here. Eventually this is going, and this is all going on around you, in you, out of you, around you, 24/7, 7 days a week. Life inside, whether you're asleep, whether it's dark, whether it's light. This is going on 24/7. And then you've got the external forces. And the problem with everybody is you all, let me do this the right way. So this is an external force, and this is an internal force. You are constantly shielding and defending and in reaction. Instead of having boundaries and standards, but the problem is when you're dealing with fear, you constantly react. Based on fear. Fuck everything and run. False evidence appears real. Or feel the fear and do it anyway. False evidence appears real. Based on a reaction to fear. So then we come back to everything is energy. Everything is a nucleus. Everything starts from here based on an action potential, based on whether you respond or react. And you keep bringing whether you respond and create a boundary and somebody reacts. But if you've got a God-strong boundary, I'm saying a God-strong boundary. For I am the voice, I lead, not follow, I create, not destroy. Then you will potentially learn how to, and this is for me too, to remind myself, I can't cut my own hair. communicate? What is it that they want you to fear? Hang on. The first commandment, to love no other God other than me. He never said there was not more than one God. He just said not to put them above him. Then you're to love thy neighbour. We need to build community. And the only way you can build community is through communication. Based on responding, not reacting. Based on fear. And trauma, whether it be in the mind or in the physical body, keeps a score. Positive and negative. Which brings you back to this again. In sickness or I was about to get clever and smart then. Just stick to the simple. Health. Death. Us two part. That's to us all. Whether we're in sickness or in health, it is only through death that we depart, but we are always in, I've got to spell it now, that actually is spelt wrong, but it's eternity. This here, back to law, skeleton argument. Bring the flesh, bring the bones. This here, the eyes, the window to the soul, has a spirit. We all have a spirit. Every single one of us has a spirit. And every single one of us has a soul and a conscience. And every single one of us knows the difference between right and wrong. We know what's good for us and we know what's bad for us. And we can keep telling ourselves that Father Christmas is going to come along and he's going to do all this stuff, which is PR and marketing. You can't miss it. My kids are already pulled into it. It's the way of the world. It's there. But the true, genuine essence is not about presents. And I say it's about being present with yourself. That is the best gift. All of us, even me, every day, having to get up, remind myself, I'm in a battle. It's different. Most people are not dealing with trauma with an awareness that I have around it and still doing what we're doing. When every day another baby gets taken off the breast, let me cover them because they're not to be shown. It's obviously Elijah, my little Faith. That's my daughter Faith. But this little girl, I'm currently talking to the father of the girl, of the daughter, Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. She's Josie's baby. Oh, she is. She's born in the mother of Josie. Shayla Grace. Why am I doing this? Because I'm putting all the energy into her true name. Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. You are Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. You are Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. Shayla, you are Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane. And you are the mother, the daughter. Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane, you are the daughter. You are the daughter of Jamie Ottaway Keane and the mother of Josie. For the sake of Portsmouth, I keep Josie's surname out of it. As you You beautiful, beautiful, beautiful little girl, lay in your bed right now, and you coming into your second birthday. Your second birthday is on the 15th of December. You were born on the 15th of December to your mother here in Portsmouth. And she was sent to a place in Wales yet again. She didn't return with her daughter, and they didn't help her here get her daughter back, with broken promises, changes to social workers, threats, coercion. You're too young to understand and know this, Shayla. But there are people who know about you or are watching you, and we're praying that the Lord knows what the right thing is for Josie as your mother, and you as a baby, and your future are ahead of you. Whether you're to be with your mother of blood, and whether they're to be healing even in Josie's family, because there's something not right about Josie's removal as well. There's something not right about Josie's paperwork. There's something not right about this being a Polish family in England. There's something not right about how this has all been dealt with, and I don't believe the paperwork in any social workers, one or even one. There is not one piece of paperwork from social care away from you, Shayla. I remove this from you in Jesus' name. Amen. Put a bind around you. May you have the right people around. May the wrong people be removed. May the people who have held your hand and been there for you be blessed for what they have done. But in my name, I hope to Christ the Lord Jesus that you are returned to your mum. I hope so. I hope in the power of Jesus Christ that something can come across us right now that can intervene on it. May your Father step up for you. May your Father step up for you, Shayla. May your Father step up for you, Shayla. In the name of Jesus Christ, Jamie, whatever it is in you that you doubt, you know what they did to you, you know what they put you through. That was then, and now tomorrow is tomorrow. You have the strength in you, Jamie. I know you do. James, that is with Josie right now. Josie, I pray upon both of you. I pray upon the three of you, whatever it needs to be. But the children need to be seen. The children need to be heard. They have a voice. She is but a baby. She can only but cry. She cannot be heard, for children are screaming. And many of them just want to be with their moms and their dads. And this Christmas, may it be binded before the Lord himself. May he shut forced adoption down. May he bring the shadows and the things brought out. And may the persecution and the continuing of the control and dogmaticness and cruelness and draconianness of the removal of children here in Great Britain and around every nation and world, from the Aboriginals to the tribes, let them be. For the Lord said we would be separated by our tongues, we would be separated by walls, we would be divided by countries, and we would be divided and ruled by kings. There is only one king in the land, and his name is Jesus Christ. For he was born for us, and he died for us, and he will live forever and twice. And I say, in the name of Jesus, and the blood and the stone, that this baby is binded and bound, and she is returned home. Not to the Lord himself, for she has a future and a grace. For she was born to a mother who is but an angel with a voice. She can sing like a bird. She can fly. She is so powerful, speaking 14 languages. She is not what they said. She is not what they tore her down to be. Your mother is nothing that you will read. There is nothing in this world that is true around you other than your mum and your dad love you, and many people are waiting for you to come home. And Shayla, I will be here for the rest of your life. I promise you, kid. I promise you, kid. Even if you get adopted and you're confused and you don't know what's going on, as long as I breathe, you could come to me at any point, and I will make sure that Shayla Grace Ottaway Keane, you know who you are. And you don't ever have to worry about whether your mum would reject you. And yes, she would struggle the day that you arrive, but maybe we can change this now, and you can survive to not just be a survivor, but to thrive. And bless upon your mother that anything that she has can be gone in such 21 days to change a habit. But it only takes a split second to make a decision that can change the rest of your life. You can make a decision here, right now, to change the past before you. There's 2 paths before us all right now. Choose wisely, because you will be deceived. The devil is among us like a roaring lion, making sure that he's got your heart, mind and soul, and he will grab you and take you and whisper you away. He'll sink you in the battlefields of your mind. Go away, for I'm a woman who gets out of bed, and when I do, I stamp on his head and I say, hey, devil, fuck off with your ways, for I have a mother and a father, and I am a daughter, not of your ways. So anyway, before I go off in a bit of a poetry and I'm on a bit of a bump, there's a lot about me that you don't know because I keep it concealed. It entertains me, it makes me laugh, and I hope I can somehow, instead of just standing there going like some people, hey, David Cameron, you's a paedophile. He's not. But he did stow it away when his PA was stuffing children's video clips. But apparently a child is not a victim because it's just photography. No child is hurt. But hey, don't forget the MP said that sexual abuse don't hurt. Well, I have to say I'm a damaged goods. I always will be because I was fucked way too young. And apparently they said that's a histrionic personality because apparently you're sexualized. Sexualized, I say, really? You call that sexualized? I say that's criminal action. However, they look in your eyes and say, but they're not quite doing it right now and you're safe, aren't they? As everybody turns to him and he says, no. So then they look at you and say, oh, it's a lying and attention seeking. It's a child from divorce. They're just attention seeking. But then the child's got to go back to being either having to suck somebody's cock or take it up the back, maybe sit on top of them, maybe lay down and think, oh my goodness, how long is this going to go on until somebody says no? Until somebody says no more, until somebody says I don't tolerate this no more. For the devil wants you to tolerate sin, to be deceived, misled, and poisoned again, over and over, sinning. Say no more. You have a choice. We can continue walking in our negative karma, or we can say, oops, upside the head, now fuck yourself and go to bed, because I'm sitting down and I ain't taking no shit no more. There's a door between us all. Knock, and the door might open. You might get a no, but you might get a yes. But it's the collaboration in between. But for an autistic person like me, I can go in and do bits, but like Dean, he never sticks around. Some of us don't like compliments. Someone like me, hey, your kids are really good. I know, I lock them in a cupboard and I give them a number of Childline every year, and next year they get the phone. But with Childline comes Savile, and then comes his best friend, and then we've got the Queen and the BT, and it all connects. But the House of Cards is coming down. It's checkmate, game over. Fuck off. Stop doing it. Because we ain't coming back to do this again next year. Let's deal with now. Let's deal with present. But plan for a future. Not the one that they want us to be, in fear. Their fear, because they have to have the army and the police. I stroll around Great Britain just to remember, guys, from lockdown, me and my 2 boys. Yes, we really weren't well once we moved in our managed move, but we have walked around the shells and we have seen people. I have not worn a mask only unless I'm dancing or making an ass. We are well. If I was to die, I'm sorry for everything that I've said, but I'd probably assume it because there'd be a bullet to my head. It would never, ever would I commit suicide. But if you want to remember why I'm here and why it started, and as I'll leave you, just remember there's always hope for justice. Just remember to spot the signs. Look for 12 key indicators. 1, deception. 2, restriction of movement. 3, abuse of vulnerability. 4, withholding wages. 5, excessive overtime. 6, abusive working living conditions. 7, retention of ID and documents. 8, physical or sexual violence. 9, debt bondage. You're in that from day one. 10, intimidation and threats. 11, fear and anxiety. 12, limited family and social contacts. there is actually something here on a serious note. Hope for Justice is where I started in 2007. I knew them before, but as you know, I went with LZ7. We took it to the charts with This Little Light Shine of Mine. We went right to number 7. And then I started I Hope for Justice, which led me to the Red X. I went down the rabbit hole and there it led. I faced the biggest problem right in front of my very head. The police said to me, no, you can't speak to a solicitor. We're taking your children. I said, what? They said for respite. I said, I'd go snowboarding if I needed a break. They decided a different matter and off my kids went to the States. Forced adopted they were. I've never seen them again. They write a letter through somebody they call... fuck knows, the adopters. This year I didn't get a letter, but I'm not letting it affect me. I'm not letting it push me over the edge so I can react. I'm using it as an opportunity, a gate to get back into court. I will never, ever, ever stop in what I do. Please remember, my nan went 9 years to get her son, Sam Hill, out of prison for the board and baseball bat murder that he never committed. I watched my nan go 9 years. I watched other people fight for justice even longer. Justice is finite. It will happen at any point, because if it doesn't happen in this realm, it will happen at the gates of heaven. Now, my hands are clean. I know this to be, for I was not the mother that they said I could be. Not because of something that I'd actually done, but something maybe in the future when the crystal ball is done. I really got to go. I got to sit down. I got to really find another way to get around my gag, basically. Why do I do this? Because I'm gagged. I'm gagged for saying, just as I go, that District Judge Andrew Shaw, who's now retired, who was the solicitor for Paul Burroughs to do with Princess Diana, and Cheryl Osborne and Carrie Larn and PC Stephen Lewis and another one, all that saved the family, basically kidnapped Darren and Faith. And I want them back. Even if I can't do it, guys. You try. Funny enough, this top's now 9 years old. I can only but try. But the problem is the battlefield of the mind. It will tell me I can, or it will tell me I can't. But either way, it's right. Have a nice night. Or maybe I am completely fucking mad. Come on to the mad side and make a difference. Crazy as a buff. Whatever. I really don't give a shit. As long as I'm sitting with my kids, chilling, between me and Dean. Got 2 homes for the kids. I love my life. It's not easy dealing with other people because it's them. However, I'm really happy with what I've done in the last year from where I was. But in terms of this little baby, and that's me. Look at my neck. We have a right to the correct medical care, whether we get stabbed, whether we fall over, whether we had an accident emergency, whether we need triage care, whether we need rehabilitation, and that's for everything. And sometimes we just need some respite. Sometimes we just need to recharge. Sometimes we just need someone to talk to. But most of all, we have every damn right to be who we are. There's no point trying to be somebody else, because if you try to do that, it's like, you're basically living a false life that's like really crazy. But anyway, this is what Shiloh was wearing earlier on. So yeah, I'm happy. My boys have got Healy, bike, trainers, boots, scooters, go-karts, games, puzzles, toys, telly, DVD, things, shitloads of fucking toys. They don't need anything for Christmas other than, family. But the family need to understand that we are where we are and we work with where we are. And I just can't be arsed with people. Even to Dean, that was the most rudest thing that my mum could have ever said. And when he showed her videos of his daughter singing, she was sitting behind him going... And it's like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, how rude, how rude, how rude. You know, don't be a witch, don't be a bitch. You know, women basically accept it. You can be a cunt, you got a cunt. And men, you can be right wankers. So don't be a cunt. You know, and if you can't help somebody, just don't hinder them. And it doesn't matter if you can paint inside the lines or not. You know, because maybe that might look even better than the actual perfectness of it created into something else. Do you know what I mean? So don't judge somebody by your own standards. You know, sit back and go, okay, you know, maybe this isn't something that I appreciate or like, but what did they appreciate and love about it? Why does it make their eyes sparkle? And if you don't care about that, then fuck off, move out their way and go and find somebody that you do give a shit about and leave the people that you don't. Simple as that, basically. And it makes my job easier. It makes the police job easier. It makes the hospital job easier. If you all just basically took personal responsibility and together and independently that we hold people accountable. But how we deal with it is up to us. In many countries, mate, they'll put you on death sentence. So what is the right form of rehabilitation and justice to what? You know, we've got people walking out of courts that are doing this, and there's no proper fucking standard. It's all based on individuals' perceptions and abilities based on their previous former existence and the education that they've been through and what fucking book they might have picked up and learned from. And I am going to sit down this weekend in the evenings after my time and deal with my fucking trauma.